I could tell you guys so much about Mikey, but inside the ring, just like every opponent that Mikey has faced, you know, we obviously talk after the fights. We go to the locker rooms and talk. And one thing they've always said is, man, until you're inside the ring, you don't know what you're going into with Mikey. On the outside, Mikey's basic, it's beatable, but until you're inside the ring with him, that's the big difference. And we've known since Mikey was like 15, 16, what Mikey was doing in sparring when we used to bring him to LA. It was just different. Not one of those fighters that would catch the attention of everybody else, but those that paid attention would see what Mikey really is.
Personally, how was this, I guess, fight for you? I mean, obviously you've been in huge fights before, but this is your brother, you know what I mean? He's in the biggest fight of his career, where at first no one picked him to win. I mean, we're getting to the moment, you know what I mean? What's the gravity moment just personally for you?
Look, until now we're still, pretty much the same. When Fernando's days, I'm fighting on, headlining pay-per-view events then we went against Pacquiao twice, Mayweather twice. We've been in, some of the biggest events, but until now, I'm still pretty much the same, just like any other one. I'm sure the week of the fight, being there, obviously that's my little brother, so it's going to be huge for the family. It's just huge, the whole family. A win is going to be, the biggest win, the biggest thing that could ever happen to the family.
You'll have all Riverside partying in this spot right here?
We get a lot of support. I know there's. Actually, yesterday I was driving to Oxnard because I had to go to Oxnard for a funeral, and I was driving and somebody's parked right next to me and starts honking. And I go roll my window down. He's like, I got my flights to Dallas. I'm gonna be there. Team Mikey, and I had no idea who he was. But we get a lot of support. That's really cool.
Speaking of Oxnard, you brought your camp from Oxnard out here. What's been the difference, and have there been any advantages coming out being here?
I think that was the best thing I could have done. Being in Oxnard, I just left Oxnard right now. I have friends in Oxnard.
It was a long drive.
It was a long drive. That's where I'm from, and we love Oxnard. But I think that was the best thing I could have done. I had my big gym in Oxnard with so many fighters, and I was working really good with all the Russians, we could say, Eastern European guys, with Igis Klimas. But since I made the move over here, all my fighters, they're all my fighters. I don't have to worry about having to fit them in different places. They all live here. They all do camps together. They eat together. They run together, and I'm in control. Every single fighter in here, they're my fighters. I'm not worried about their manager taking them somewhere else. Like that's what's been happening in Oxnard. Since I left. Some are with this guy, some are with the other guy, and moving on. And I would have hated that to happen if I was still there. Here I have control, man. They're all my fighters. They all love being here, and I make the decisions for them.
Robert, who's the first person to recognize greatness in Mikey?
I think it was my dad. Because at first none of us thought Mikey was going to be a boxer, and just having like 9 or 10 amateur fights, we put him in the Junior Olympics, and with 9 or 10 amateur fights, he made it to the very finals, and was beating guys that had over 100 fights. So my dad was the influence. At that moment, I wasn't too much into boxing yet. My dad was still, pretty much Mikey's trainer, and he's the one that seen it and supported him 100% through Mikey's goods and bads. My dad always supported him.
How old was he earlier? You mentioned earlier. How old was he? I'm sorry, just to finish that. Yeah.
Fighting the amateur when he went to the Junior Olympics, he was like 15, because it's a 15-16 tournament. Yeah, because he was 14 when he had his first amateur fight.
You mentioned earlier that he was your little brother. When does being the older brother trump being a trainer?
When does
being the older brother trump being his trainer?
I don't get it.
When does being his older brother take over from just being his trainer?
Look, when we're in the gym, he's my little brother, but in the gym, there's none of that. You know, I treat Mikey just like every other one of my fighters, and he knows it. All my fighters know it. You know, he's not gonna get no more attention or extra attention because he's my brother or because he's fighting in the biggest fight of the year maybe, or of at least of our team. You know, all my fighters if they need to work, then you know they work. That's why we start at 10 in the morning till 6 p.m. because I divide everybody at different times. Mikey gets the same attention as everybody else.